Okay, guys, quick update with Bitcoin. Now, I do tend to ramble and repeat myself a lot, so I'm just going to try to just streamline this, give you exactly what you need to know, and just pay attention, okay? Now, the last video, I did ask you guys to leave a like. You left almost 1,000 likes. I do appreciate it. That's all I was asking, guys. Show your support. Click the likes. When you leave a like on the video and you subscribe, you show me your interest in me putting out these videos. If you continue to do that, I'll continue to put out these videos. So I'm going to give you key levels to pay attention to, and I want to show you potential timing for a bottom. Now, Bitcoin does not have to crash. Bitcoin can continue up from here. It could put a new all-time high. I just want to show you likely timing and likely targets just in case we do have a crash. A lot of people say Bitcoin can't crash. It's impossible. It'll only go up. That's fine. But if it does, I just want to show you likely points to buy in based on my charts, timing, and targets, and that's what we're going to cover. It was this video here. Now, again, I put out a video before and the call played out perfectly, so I didn't give you price labels, but I did give you an arrow target. I said, look, I said, it'd be a point too long, scalp along only. I said, leave your short open. You should have shorted 65K. I said, do a scalp along, then take profit, but hold your short in your next point too long or take profit was this red line, which we're going to cover these macro trend lines. They're very important. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. In Discord, same thing as I told you. I said, look, this is a point to scalp along. We pushed up right here. We had confluence, but I said to only scalp along, keep your short open. And as I showed in that video, this arrow pointing right here, you can see that is where we held support. Back at critical support. And I'd made a post about exchanges, prices going sideways, exchanges weren't making any money, liquidations were the lowest I've seen in a while, which means they're going to make a move soon, and they did. We came down to critical support, and you can see we bounced from that support level, and I drew a trend line here, so this was our resistance. We had confluence between the H1 chart around 60,400, and we have a horizontal resistance and our central Bollinger Band on the daily around 60,400. Now we are above this line now, so we're going to cover a few targets and we're going to discuss. So we are breaking up from this line. So that could be bullish, but we still need to hold above 60,400 before we can expect more upside. And I will give you those key levels, but I do want to break down these yellow, orange, and red trend lines, show you why they are so important and why I'm bearish below 64,000. And by the way, guys, if you do want to get access to these charts, you can sign up. The website's opticalertcrypto.com. The link's pinned in the first comment description. But if you want to get a free access, just like a week, if you're interested in making the switch to CoinCatch or creating an account with CoinCatch, if you deposit $250, I'll give you 1 week access to Discord. Not the charts, but then again, I'm making posts about the charts, daily, if not hourly. If you deposit $500, I'll give you 2 weeks access to Discord. So if you want to create an account on CoinCatch, make a deposit. You email me through the contact page on my website with your user ID number. I'll confirm that you made a deposit. Like I said, I'll give you a free trial access. But CoinCatch is a great exchange. They're up and coming. I think they're a great exchange. Nobody had any issues with them. They have a lot of incentives to sign up. You can save on trading fees using my link. And they have incentives where if you deposit a certain amount, you get money back. So if you want to try out CoinCatch, again, that link is pinned in the first comment and description. 2 other great exchanges, BitUnix. Again, CoinCatch is no KYC, BitUnix is no KYC. BingX is another one I use, which is KYC, but I think they're a great exchange. So do try these out, but if you want to get a trial, sign up to CoinCatch, email back. Otherwise, if you want to get access to these charts, it's $49 a month for Bitcoin charts, altcoin charts, and Discord. If you do sign up, make sure you email me through the website, and then I gave you a Discord invite link to join. I did tutorials, teach majority method, and stocks. And now that that's out of the way, guys, let's get into the TA, and let me cover some of these support resistance levels. So this is what I mentioned in Discord right here. I was saying, look, this was our resistance, right? So if we break above this, that could be bullish. We did break above it. You see we're pushing up. We broke above it right around 69,641. Your next major resistance level above is right up here around, looks to me to be 61,700, and it's pretty clear. That last video I made said this is a point you'd want to scalp along, right? We pushed up, we got rejected, and we had a drop. All right, so we're respecting this line. we have been respecting this line. And then we have this channel we were in. Support, support, resistance, push above a bit, resistance, support. We broke it. We had a drop. So there's just a lot of damn confluence. If you wanted to look for a 0.2 long 2 or short, would be around 61,757. If we push above that and hold support, well, guys, that is bullish up to your next support level, or I'm sorry, resistance level, which is around 63,600. If we got above that, well, if you were following me in Discord, the point you should have shorted was around 65K. Well, we know that that resistance level would be up around 66K. Now, I'm not so sure we make it that high, guys. I'm just giving you the targets to play. You know, this could be a fake out. We could come right back down. We'll have to see how this plays out. And the reason to say this, just like I mentioned in Discord, while yes, we did break above this line, we still have to get above the central Bollinger Band on the daily and this horizontal support. And as you can see on the D1 chart, we are right there right now. So pay attention to the next daily open to see if we hold above 60,400. If we do, well, you know your next resistance level will be this fib channel line. This is up around, depending when you make contact, that's around 62K. Then you have your horizontal support, which is right up here around 63,100. And then the line that I've been telling you guys, as long as we are below this line, I remain bearish. This is around 64,580. That does get higher over time because this is an upward angle. But I want to break down these lines and show you why I told people to long in Discord 58K and why 64,585, even though that's pretty high up, I'm still bearish below that point. And take note, this right here, this is the central Bollinger Band on the daily. Take note that this is right here. You got a fib channel line in this direction that price will respect and has been respecting. Again, you have the central Bollinger Band, you have this fib channel line, and you have this orange macro trend line that price has been respecting since the beginning of Bitcoin. So again, that is why that is a very key level. If you wanted to, if we got it that high, that'd be a point I would short. And again, 58K was a point too long. Same thing. You have a fib channel line in this direction, and you have this macro red trend line. Take note, if we did drop, and let's say we break 58K, which in a minute I'll explain to you why that is extremely bearish in my opinion. You also have horizontal support, this green line. You have, same thing guys, these fib channel lines will be respected, but take note, you have now the bottom Bollinger Band on the daily moving right to this key level, which is right around, let's just say 57K. So that'd be the next point to potentially open a long. But again, there's a caveat. If we do drop to 56K, then you potentially want to short 58,629. And I'm going to cover that, why that's the case. But these are your key levels to play. Again, if we drop 56,927, looks like an ideal point to scalp a long. Now, what to do here, guys? I can just tell you, I'd pay attention to the next daily candle. The time of recording this video is 10 hours and 21 minutes. This is going to be very key resistance level, 60,400. If we do hold above, if we get a daily open and we start pushing up, then get bullish up to 62K, maybe 63K. I would definitely take my profit at 64,500. We hold above that, guys, I get bullish. As I've said, as long as we are below this point, I am bearish. If we hold above it, I get bullish. This point right here, where I told everybody to long in Discord, if we break below 58K, I get bearish. I'm going to show you why this is the case. Let's see here. So now it was, I guess this was 6 months back. It was these two videos here. And now I'm going to break down why these three lines are so important. As you can see right here, I'd have to zoom in a bit. Let me zoom in so you can see this. And I know when I roll over, it changes. But notice that price pushes up and gets rejected at the three lines. It said Bitcoin above a specific price, we moon, otherwise Bitcoin topped out. And the next video, I said, is Bitcoin about to go parabolic? Because I knew that if we got above these three lines, Bitcoin would push up. And you can see I have that drawn on the diagram. I'll have these two videos, I'll have the links in the description. So if you want to watch these two videos about these three lines, you can. But I want to show you why these are so important. So I'm going to zoom out. Now, again, this is a pattern we're in. This is something to pay attention to, okay? I tried to draw this the best I could, and sometimes you have to ignore the wicks. You have to look at where, when I create my charts, I'm very meticulous about how I set these charts up. But to me, this looks accurate because you see the meat of the candle, we only got wicks above. Meat of the candle, two candles here. The meat of the candles below. You can see we got a nice rejection with 3 wicks. Meat of the candles below. We did push above. It got 3 rejections with wicks. Right here, you can see the meat of the candle. I have to really zoom in and show you this. Didn't want this to run long, but I always do make it run long. Notice the meat of the candles above, meat of the candles below. All right, notice that we got a nice support level here. Meat of the candle is below. You can see we got a nice rejection here, meat of the candle below. So to me, that looks like a likely resistance level. To me, that is accurate. Yes, we have wicks above. I don't think you can do things like this anymore, guys, because they want to trick you. You don't really know where that resistance level is. But to me, that looks like the resistance level. So again, if we get above 64,564, pay attention to 67,300. Again, it's at an angle. Depends when you make contact. This is a daily chart. But then you still have your resistance level above, around 70,000, depending when you make contact. Hell, we could push up and do a double top. That'd be way out for it to be this line. But that is a resistance level to pay attention to. But if we do hold support, now we've held support above this before. Actually, only a few times we've held support above this point. So if we hold support above, 67,400 and we continue to push up, well, we're breaking up from a major pattern we've been in since, the 12th of March, which would be bullish. I see all these YouTubers saying, hey, we're going to go to 90,000, 150,000. Maybe we will. I don't know. But we know that if we get above this point, get bullish. All right, if we hold above it and continue to hold above it. But for now, for me, historically, going by this chart, every time we break below this orange macro trend line, we have a substantial drop. And this red line comes into play as well. And that's why I told everybody in Discord to long 58K. So if we break this point, well, we know that we have potentially our next, I think this is probably the bottom of this channel. Again, you can draw it many ways. You could probably connect these wicks right here. Actually, they connect pretty well. You got perfect support right here, right? Support here, support here. So, you knew when you connected this wick to this wick, this gave you this point to long. That's why people longed right there. But notice the meat of the candle is above this point. So to me, this looks like more likely the support level for this pattern we're in. But yes, that could also be your support level, guys. We might get a wick down to something like 50,600 and push back up. But again, they're going to trap you. You have to be careful, all right? I like to wait for a confirmation. We came down. We had a couple wicks below. Price pushed up, so that is the point you would long. But again, as I said, 64,564 is your next major resistance above. As long as we're below that, I remain bearish. Once we break below 58K, I become super bearish. Now, this did happen here, but take note, we got to bounce close to this ring. So I think when we bottom, if we crash, if they raise interest rates, if they lower interest rates, which they said they will in September, it's very possible people get bullish, prices start pushing up. But I think smart investors and institutions know that when the Fed lowers interest rates, especially with the unemployment on the rise and a weakening economy, I think they know that means a recession or possible major correction in the stock market's coming. So they're going to play it in their advantage. They'll push price up, people will buy in, they'll get trapped, and then down we go. So I'm just going to give you potential timing at bottom targets. If we do drop, why I think those are likely targets. Let's see here. Now this, I did show you these 2 videos. I will have that in the description. I did want to cover, before we get into that, so I want to cover one thing really quick, all right, because I got a lot of flack for this blue ring. I have made multiple videos about this blue ring. Said when we cross it, every time we cross it, we get a pump. This is true. Every time we cross one of these blue rings previously, we always got a pump. It happened here. I can go further back actually. Right here, this is when we were around around $3,800. We crossed the blue ring, we got a pump. That showed a bottom. We crossed it here, we got a pump. Yes, we did have a fake out. We came back down, but every time we crossed it here, got a pump, became support here. Same thing happened back here. We crossed it back here. This was 2016. We got a pump, became perfect support. So we're respecting these blue rings. I made a video about this one here. This is when I called the bottom around 16K. So we just crossed this blue ring, expect the price to go parabolic. That played out beautifully. I made another video about it, and that's what I was just showing you. So if we cross this blue ring, expect us to go parabolic. we crossed a blue ring, we came back down, tested support, we pushed up. That is this ring here. And it played out perfectly. I said if we cross this blue ring before this orange ring, bull run territory. If we cross this orange ring underneath this blue ring, that would be bear market territory. We crossed the blue ring and we went into bull run territory and started pushing up. Now this is where people started getting upset because I said, look, historically, which was true, every time we crossed a blue ring, we would push up. That is how it played out. This is the first time we crossed one of these blue rings and started dropping. But notice every time we come down, we test it as support, get a bounce, test it as support, get a bounce, support, get a bounce. Take note, that perfect rejection on the fib channel line. Came down, got a bounce, now we're below this point. So guys, to me, it does look bearish. As long as we are below this orange trend line. Let me get rid of some of this stuff so I can just show you why this is the case and give you potential timing and possible points to buy in if we have a major crash. Now I can show you this. I'm getting over the yellow line. This yellow line has been support and resistance. I just want to focus on the orange line for now. Notice when we broke, this actually became resistance, right? We pushed above it, all right? We got a pump. But when we did break it, when we actually broke it right here, notice that when we dropped, was that orange line became resistance. We dropped around 54%. Notice the same thing right here. Once it was no coincidence that when we broke above this blue ring, it was also above this orange trend line, this macro trend line. We got a pump, right? Came back, tested support, pushed up. But when we broke it, when we actually came down, we broke the red line. Once we broke this orange line, how much did we drop? We came down a total of, that was close to what, 46%. So we've broken it multiple times actually, but we are underneath that orange trend line. We're actually below the yellow macro trend line that goes way back since the beginning of Bitcoin. We're below the orange trend line. So I'm saying if we break 58K, to me, that would be bearish because that means we've broken all three of these macro trend lines going back since the beginning of Bitcoin. So again, as long as we are below this point, I remain bearish. If we get above that, and then we get above our key resistance in this pattern that we're in, that we've been respecting, again, since what, 13th of March? And if we get above that, hold support around, let's say, 68,000, that holds the support, then we get above 70K, which, we end up doing a double top or something, you can probably get rejected, come back down support, push up. Guys, I'm bullish. That's fine. But again, until we get above that orange line and hold above that orange line, I remain bearish, and if we break 58K, I become super bearish. But I want to give you these targets to pay attention to. Now, yes, nailing down the bottom of whatever pattern we're in is going to be tough. Maybe the bottom of this is around, depending on when you make contact, maybe 52,500. Maybe it's 50,000, 51,000. I don't know. But I just know that we're in some kind of pattern, but I know the importance of these lines. I know once we break 58K, your next key support level is going to be these green color lines right here. And you can see why this is the case. Right here, it was resistance, resistance, support and resistance, came back just perfect contact. So we know that this resistance level out here, right, will become support. And then you have the actual support for this pattern. It was support here, 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 and here. Well, that is the support level that will also become support. So support resistance for this previous pattern will be a support level to catch a bounce. So let me get rid of all these little white circles here. Okay, so again, what I'm saying is if we drop, that is the level to pay attention to. And those lines where they start to diverge at a certain point. So if we come down, a point to potentially buy in, maybe if it's out here, that'd be crazy because we have support levels and we have these support levels, all the more confluence for a bounce. Again, I'm not saying anything has to crash. I just want to give you targets and potential timing in case we do have a crash because that is a possibility. But it does look like that around 46,000 up to 48,800 is a very likely support level. That'd be a great point to go long. Scalp long. And again, remember, now that means that this is going to become resistance. But as far as points to buy in if we drop, I just want to give you some just just going by previous lows and just drawing some lines and just showing you previous price action, what looks likely. So if we do a horizontal line here, let's go from right here. All right, so this is a previous bottom. Again, that would be a point to long, does not mean it has to hold. A previous bottom back here, this is right around to this point here. And this would be a double bottom if we came all the way down to this point. But let's go back and let's look at price action, what price action does, right? So this goes all the way back to this is December 2nd, 2013. Well, we topped out around, what, $1,139. Price dropped, we bottomed. I mean, look, we dropped a total of, back then, we dropped, what, 86%. But notice what happened. We found support, we pushed up, people were getting bullish, we came back down, and we tested. We didn't come back lower than our previous low, right? We typically don't go lower than our previous low, but we get pretty damn close, right? Back here was $151, right here was $202. Same thing right here. When we crossed this ring, this was around, actually we bottomed down around, what, $3,160. We pushed up. I know this was a COVID crash. Maybe that was a one-off thing, but historically, that's what it looks like. That's what happens. We'll bottom. Price will push up. People get super bullish. We never come back and quite go lower than our previous bottom. This was, again, this is around 3,100, and we dropped down to 3,900. So I don't think we'll get a double bottom. I think the reason why that doesn't happen is people expect it. They wait till it comes down. They want to test the previous bottom. They want to buy in, but people buy in before, don't give them a chance, and they miss out. Now, the reason I'm saying this, now, if we do get a major crash with the indices, which is possible, keep in mind, guys, the Fed's going to lower interest rates. Unemployment is pushing up. Typically, when they lower interest rates, it's for a reason. It's because something's already broke, and they're trying to stop it from getting worse. But I do want to point out, as you can see, we keep bouncing down this ring. This is the first time we've not crossed one of these blue rings and got a pump. Instead, we just keep bouncing down the ring, bouncing down the ring. So what I'm saying, I just want to give you likely timing if the markets drop. I just want to show you why it looks like these would be likely targets. Now, I am using previous lows right here. This is a previous low. So I'll give you these price targets, or give you some price labels. So you see our low here was, this would be support, so I'm going to make this green. If I can, let's see. So 38,563, all right? You have another one down here at 24,945, and then you have the lowest point we went, right? So when we topped out up here around, what, 68,757, we dropped all the way down to 15K. And again, guys, I made a video about this blue ring. I said when we cross it, go long, because every time we cross the blue ring, we pushed up. Made another video about this one, said, hey, cross the blue ring, it's time to go long. And then I said, look, every previous ring we've crossed, we've pushed up. It did not happen this time. It changed, which tells me, again, something has changed, which makes me bearish. And again, the only thing this got me somewhat bullish is we're holding above this red line. But again, until we get above this orange line, I remain bearish. But just to show you possible timing, again, let's say that we dropped. All right, let's say that the indices had a major correction and we enter a small recession or something like that. Well, we do know if we follow the support level, and we know that we're bouncing down this ring, and we're respecting the hell out of this blue ring. Well, that's your first target, 38,000. Now, to me, that seems less likely because that means for us to hit that target, and notice we do come down. We hit major support levels at the ring. These rings are amazing how they work. That timing would be potentially 21 days to hit 38,465. I find that less likely. Anything's possible. We've seen major drops before. You see, if I zoom out, you can see a lot more time goes by. They're actually, if you do like this, it looks like it'd be straight down. But if we bring this over, right? So let's bring this over here. So this is, around 25,000, right? Well, that is a previous low. That has been respected. If we pull this out, I mean, this has been support, resistance, more support. That's a very, very strong support level around 25K. Now, if we broke 25K, well, I know that I would buy in down here because this is our previous low. It'd be a double bottom. Everybody would buy that. That's why I think it's less likely we would hit that target, just like I showed you previously. Every time we drop, right, we never come down and do an exact double bottom. We don't do a double bottom. People expect it. They want to buy in there if they don't get a chance to. People buy in before. We almost touched our previous low. You don't get that chance. That's why I think it's more likely if we are topped and this breaks to the downside, I think a much likelier scenario would be around 25K. I think that would be the point I would buy in if we had a major drop. And timing for that. Now, I could be wrong, but I do think we will keep bouncing down this ring. If this just continues to go sideways and then we have a drop, I think that'd be the point we would hit. That'd be the point to buy in and ride it up. If by some chance that we do break 25K, all right, and that becomes resistance and we do not push back above, well, then, I know for sure I'll be buying around 15,460. But I just want to give you timing for these potential targets, all right? We already know what resistance level we have to get above to go higher. But I can tell you, so if we have a crash within the next, I don't know, let's see, within the next, let me just get vertical lines here so I can give you this here. So if we bottom, let's say if we crash within, let's see, oh, this is driving me nuts. Here we go. All right, so within the next, let's say, 21 days, we drop 38K, 38,500, great point too long, because we will bounce off this ring. But that means your resistance is now 47K. If this takes longer, if it just goes sideways, all right, then 25K, again, this would be where I will definitely buy in. This is where I'd go heavy. That timing is around 90 days, which makes sense, guys. They're going to lower interest rates. Unemployment's on the rise. As unemployment starts to go higher, that's more of a clue of a possible, deep recession. And that will be after the elections. So, probably propping up the stock market for the elections until after. That totally makes sense. That would be around 90 days, and that would be around the 28th of November. I don't think we go lower than 25K. It just makes sense. There's too much confluence, and it'll be interesting to see the timing on that. But if we did break 25K and we did make a double bottom, which historically that does not happen, that would potentially be, this would be right around the 22nd of January 2025. And if we measure that out, that is roughly 146 days. But again, just going by previous price action, to me, it looks like 25K would be the bottom. That would be where you buy in and ride it up. If that breaks, and then we come down to 15K, I definitely will add to my my portfolio around this area. But if 15K breaks and we go lower than that, then something is seriously wrong. Maybe we're in an extended bear market, and maybe instead of a recession, it's depression. I don't know. But I just wanted to show you why those look like likely bottom targets. And as far as upside targets, I covered that in a previous video. Maybe I'll cover that in the next video. But again, those are downside targets and timing, and just upside targets, guys. If we get above 68K, 67,000, 68K or something like that, well, we're breaking up from this pattern. And guys, that will be bullish for more upside. But again, I didn't want this to run too long. I just want to give you those targets. Again, guys, if you want to sign up for CoinCat, the link is pinned in the first comment description. No KYC. If you deposit $250, I'll give you 1 week access, just trial to Discord. Deposit $500, I'll give you 2 week access to Discord trial. Remember, BitUnix is also no KYC. BingX is KYC, but those are 3 exchanges I use and trust. If you want to sign up, those links are pinned in the first comment description. And guys, if you want to sign up, get access to charged tutorials or stocks, you can sign up and pay through PayPal. You can pay with USDT, but you can email me through the website. Click the contact page to do that. But guys, that's pretty much it. I said it wouldn't run long, and it did. I apologize. But I'm at least bullish up to 61K. Get above that. Check out. Pay attention to 60,600. And just please understand why I'm saying these lines are so important. This yellow line, orange line, and red line. If we break below 58K, that becomes resistance. Then I do think these possible scenarios would play out. But these are the targets and timing for potential points to bottom. And we already know if we get above a certain point, well, we're off to the moon. That's it, guys. I'm out. Stay safe, stay smart.